That is a very old nuclear reactor that is rusting on the side of the lake. And that little concrete building ahead of us is the intake and the exit for the water for the nuclear reactor. At least I think that's what it is. Welcome to Reactor Bend on Melton Hill Lake. All right, while I make my buddy Clint do all the work and put the rods and reels out, I'm going to talk to you guys about contamination in Melton Hill Lake. Is this the most contaminated lake to fish in? Now, I know I just showed you guys the nuclear reactor, but this contamination that I'm going to talk about has nothing to do with radioactivity. That's actually going to be the next video. This lake is actually next to Oak Ridge. The Manhattan Project was done in Oak Ridge. We had to create nuclear weapons in a very short amount of time. They had to use really fast techniques to refine uranium to make nuclear weapons. Now, when I was in high school over 20 years ago, we were tasked in writing this little pamphlet of what they were doing to clean up Oak Ridge. A puff piece of the green activities in Oak Ridge. And what they did, they took us on a grand tour of Y12, ORNL, and the gaseous diffusion plant. They showed us some stuff that the general public probably doesn't know about. And the one thing that I remember the most was the contamination map. It showed some of the very small pockets of like radioactive contamination, which is really, really minor, except for what I'm going to show you guys in the next video. But it did show the biggest thing that's contaminating the whole area, and it's solvents. They use solvents to clean everything. The ceramics, the metals, and all of that pretty much went into the ground. They have wells drilled everywhere to follow where this contamination is going. And the biggest, most scary thing about it, it showed the future. And basically, in 10 years, right underneath this boat. And that was over 10 years ago. So these solvents are literally leaking into Melton Hill Lake. And whatever they were cleaning with the solvents might actually be with it too, to a lesser extent. And that's one of the reasons why I say that it's probably something bigger than the Kingston ash spill. And I really, really don't know what solvents will do once they mix with the water here. So basically, upstream, Bull Run steam plant, all that coal ash being washed in the river, being mixed with solvents, and going through Melton Hill Dam into the Emory River, into the Tennessee River, into the Mississippi River, into the Gulf of Mexico over the past 10 years. So just think about how far has this water traveled in 10 years. And it's continually seeping into the water. There is absolutely, positively no way to stop this. Now, I do have one question for some of you that you may or may not be able to answer. What were they doing with mercury? Apparently, there was a whole lot of mercury that was lost. It was either 3,000 pounds or 3 million pounds. I don't remember. They have a whole lot of mercury that is unaccounted for. And some people have told me that they've seen mercury beads in some of the creeks and ponds that are in the Oak Ridge area. Were they using that as one of the solvents to clean some of the stuff when they were refining nuclear material? I really don't know. I do know when mercury is mixed with water, it becomes methyl mercury, and it gets absorbed into everything, especially the fish. So not only do we have coal ash, we have solvents, and we also have mercury. Whatever happened to that? Like I said in the previous video, the first video in this series of 3 videos, it's going to take multiple videos for me to talk about the contaminants and the reason why I don't eat the fish I catch around here or anywhere in the Tennessee River, the Mississippi River. I'm focusing on the Clinch River, so I'm not talking about the yearly dump of chemicals into the Holston River, the sewer that's going into the French Broad, and how the signs that say don't touch the water in downtown Knoxville mysteriously disappeared a few years ago. These 3 videos are focused on the Clinch River. It's really a serious thing, but I'm going to get less serious here and hopefully catch a fish. I've actually fished Reactor Bend for catfish before, and I've caught a few catfish, nothing of size. So we're just going to try to drift this first around like a kind of a drop off that's going on here, And then we're going to go to my buoy spot and do some bottom fishing and see if we can get something in the boat for this video, so it doesn't have to be a skunked video of me just talking about contamination. And Clint's been so busy making food at Big Fish Outfitters that he'd like to catch some fish too.
Yes, he would.
So let's see what we can catch. Well, we didn't get anything on the drift, so we've moved to an anchor bite. We have really, really deep water on this side, and on this side is really, really shallow water. And we've got bait on both sides to see what's happening. And I am sitting up here, seeing if I can catch a skipjack or a white bass or something. Just casting away. This morning, I had clients on the boat, and it was an incredibly good morning. We got a 26-pound blue, several 15s, I think, in shallow water. The 26-pound blue was in deep water, like out there, and the other fish was in like 2 to 4 foot of water. And I think someone mentioned on the pictures I posted of it that the fall shallow water bite is coming. So I can't wait for that, because I love, 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 love catching big cats in shallow water. But we haven't caught anything yet here. This is kind of, you know, I don't really catfish this lake enough to know what's going on. Although I'd like to learn Melton Hill. Catfish Dave once told me he's never caught anything less than 50 pounds out of Melton Hill. But it's a really long reservoir and it's kind of weird. So I know some of the creeks, and I caught a 45-pound blue, or no, 45-pound flathead out of one of the creeks. But this video might end up a skunked video again. At least I know where not to take clients. Now back to the back of the boat. All right. We actually got a bite on the one he's reeling in right now, but that's it. Really nothing going on. I see some shad flipping here and there. There's some fish jumping that might be skipjacks, that might be white bass. They didn't want to bite my baits. And it's just kind of quiet now. Now the boat ramp that I launched at, they close at dark, and it's pretty much dark right now. So I'm gonna go back before anything happens. They used to have a gate, and the gate would open if you drive from the inside leaving the park, but I didn't see the gate there, and I saw like some concrete thing going on in the ground. Hopefully it's not like anti-car spikes or something, but it looks like at this point in the video we're skunked. Melton Hill Lake is just not giving up any of the big blues to me. We may try launching at a different ramp and fishing a different part of the lake. I don't know yet. I'm going to think on it as we drive back to the ramp. Clint doesn't have to work tomorrow, and I'd hate for him not to catch a fish today. Let's see what happens. Now, as you saw on my giveaway live stream, I skunked Clint. So I'm publishing yet another skunked video. Now, I do feel that what I said earlier in this video has some value, and I hope some of you learned something new about what's in the waterways around here, and downstream, probably all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Some of the reasons why I don't eat the fish I catch. Now, in the last video of this series, I'm going to be below Melton Hill Dam, and that video is going to be spicy. That's a term coined by some YouTubers that like to go around looking for radioactive hotspots with Geiger counters. It's definitely going to be a very, very interesting video. So stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. After these videos are over with, it's going to be back to fishing. Of course, I'm going to try to catch a fish on that video too. I know there's fish in the area there. Now, as always, I want to thank you guys for taking your time out of your day to watch my video. I really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up to show that you like this video, to help with the Google, YouTube algorithm thing. And hopefully, as fall gets closer, I'll be publishing less skunked videos. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see you next time.